Wanted to do
hey
a
guys,
story time for you guys.
So
today I wanted to do a story time for you guys.
I find watching the story time videos
entertaining and funny.
watching the story time
And
videos
I have
entertaining and funny.
from my
And I
years.
have quite a few stories from my
So I
years.
decided that I wanted to do a story time for you guys
about my very first
story time for you guys
about my very
first
boyfriend,
the time that he cheated on me and got the
the
girl pregnant.
the time that he cheated on me and got the
right?
girl pregnant.
Okay, so we're just gonna call him. We're just gonna call him.
His name starts with a J, so we'll just call him
Jay.
His name starts with a J.
My sinuses are so messed up right now.
But so we'll just call him Jay. And so Jay and I met this summer between my 8th grade year and my freshman year of high school. And we kind of met through, like, I don't even really know, like, we had, like, mutual friends on MySpace and, like, stuff like that. And I kind of knew his sister a little bit, like, previously. And so he was like, oh, you want to meet up at the park, whatever. So, like, we totally, like, did, obviously. And we were, like, hanging out and everything, and he was, like, a hella bad kid, like, such a bad kid, like, in and out of, like, the D home and, like, juvie and stuff like that, like, oh my god. So, we were together, and it was definitely an unhealthy relationship. So, we met that summer, and he had lived at his mom's, which was, like, about, like, an hour or so away from here, and he would just come down on the weekends or whatever, and then he asked his dad if he could move down here so that, you know, we could be together and stuff. And so, like, yeah, so he ended up moving to my town, but he couldn't go to, like, normal school because he was bad, so he had to go to, like, the bad kids school, and so we couldn't go to the same school. He went to, like, an alternative school because he was bad. And a couple weeks into the school year, he got in trouble, and he had to go to juvie. And so I'm just, like, sitting here trying to figure out what's going on and everything. Can't talk to him, nothing. So I just, like, would write him letters, but, like, I couldn't send them because I didn't know where he was. And so, like, when he finally got back, you know, I was, like, running over to his house and gave him all the letters, and he wrote me letters, and it was like, oh, so cute. Not really, but, you know, I thought it was cute. So, like, he was really good at drawing, so he would, like, draw me pictures. I actually still have some of them. I found them when I was cleaning out my mom's house. But, he would, like, draw me pictures and stuff while I was there. So then, you know, he gets out, and I'm like, yo, let's not do that ever again, blah, 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 because that was, sorry. So then, you know, we do that, and whatever. And, so he gets out, and then it was, like, okay for a while and whatever, and he was a very, like, controlling person, and it was a pretty abusive relationship mentally and physically, and so, like, as we got older, it got worse, and, like, you know, he would be like, you know, if you don't get me money so that I can get high and stuff, like, I'm just gonna beat your fucking ass, like, all this shit, and, like, he was just, like, really, like, degrading to me, and, like, if I wanted to go do something with somebody other than him, he wouldn't allow it, and, like, I basically felt trapped, and I was only, like, 15, 16 years old, you know, so I didn't really know what to do, and, yeah, I don't know, it was just, so I had seen him messaging this girl from his alternative school, and we'll just call her Shayla, because her name starts with an S, so we'll just call her Shayla. And so I had messaged Shayla, and this one, Yahoo Messenger was the thing. So I'm like, hey, are you talking to Jay? Like, he's my boyfriend. We've been together 2 years at this point, you know, like, no. So she was like, no, I'm not. We just go to school together, blah, blah, blah. We just talk about homework, whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So, she kind of, like, disappeared for a while, and that was fine. And, like, whatever. But then, a couple, like, I almost think it was, like, a year later, we were, like, I don't know, we were just, whatever. I hung out with him every day, like, he was so controlling, like, I had to be there every day, and on the weekends I had to stay there, like, it was just, like, it was so bad. Like, I was so stuck in this kid's, like, life and wrapped up in it. It was so, like, oh my god, it was, like, mind-warping. And, like, he was like, hey, some of my friends from school want me to come over, and they're having a party, and blah, blah, blah. You want to give me $20 so I can go? I'm like, okay, because I worked at the time, actually, at Tones Cone. Oh, whoop. Just told y'all where I worked. Not that most of you will know, because it's a very small town thing. But I worked at this ice cream parlor, and so I worked there. So I made tips, and I had a paycheck and whatever. So like I gave him the $20 because he said he needed it for gas and to have his own like whatever, to like liquor, whatever they were doing. I don't know. So whatever, that's fine. Like I did that, and then I hung out with my sister and my niece that night, and we were just like having a good time and whatever. He didn't have a phone, obviously, so like I didn't hear from him or anything. I really didn't care, to be honest. It was just nice to be like left alone for a while. And then what was it? He called me off a blocked number the next day. Shady as fuck, number one. Number two, so then he calls me off this blocked phone. He's like, hey, I need a ride home, blah, blah, blah. Can you come get me? I'm like, well, where the fuck are you? The hell? He had told me he was going somewhere. He told me he was going to Mendota, but he was in, he told me he was going to Mendota, and then he was in LaSalle, which is, like, completely opposite places in, like, our area. So, like, Mendota would be, like, north, and then, like, LaSalle is, like, east. Like, he was nowhere near where he said he was going to be. So I'm like, okay, that's weird for one, but whatever. And then two, he said that he was like, hold on a second. For two, so he tells me that, he was in a totally different city. So then I'm like, okay, so what's the address where I need to pick you up at? Oh, you can just pick me up at the Casey's. I can't just pick you up at the house you're at? Right? No? No, you can just pick me up at Casey's. I'll just walk down there. Alright. Then, me and my sister go to get in the car and take my niece with us, mind you. In a fucking snowstorm. A snowstorm. So this dumbass is gonna walk in a snowstorm, make me drive in a snowstorm in my sports car, because I had a Monte Carlo SS at the time. Two-wheel drive freaking car. So I'm like, what the hell? So I'm driving in this shitty weather with my freaking niece in the car, trying to pick up this moron. And I get there, and he's there, sure as shit, waiting at the Casey's. I'm like, what the fuck? And I already felt like something was weird was going on and shady as fuck. He's all trying to, like, be nice to me and shit. I'm like, get in the car, we're leaving, like, you're going home too. Like, I'm not coming over either. So I dropped him off, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good, I'm talking to you right now, like, until you want to come up with an explanation as to why the fuck you weren't where you said you were, and why you called me off a block number, and all that shit. And of course, whatever, he talked his way out of it, whatever, and then I never really thought about it. So then I'm like, okay. So then, like, we get into these, like, fucking fights, and one day he said something like he was gonna fuck this girl. Well, he said this name. Well, I guess we'll just say Shayla. But Shayla's real name is the same as my sister's name, and I was like that's the only I was like, that's all I was thinking of. I was like, he was like, I'll go fuck Shayla again or something, and I'm like, my sister never fucked you. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, you fucking psycho? Not putting together that he was talking about Shayla. So I'm like, whatever, and I just like kind of blew it off, and it was that we were fighting, and it was just ignorant to say, and I thought he was like, I really thought he was like saying like, I'll fuck your sister. That's what I thought he was trying to say. I thought that's what he was saying. I'm like, this motherfucker. But so a couple months down the road, I hear, well, my best friend hears that this Shayla girl is pregnant. So she comes up to my car. Me and Jay are in the car, and we'll call my friend, I'll just give her real name. Her name's Kate. So she comes up to the car, and she's like, hey, Jay, so why is Shayla going around telling everybody she's pregnant by you? I'm like, excuse me? And I'm like sitting in this car. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are you talking about? The fuck? So I'm like, okay, this bitch is saying that she's pregnant by him, so what the hell? So then he's straight denying it. Like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. I don't know what you're fucking talking about. Whatever, whatever. So I'm like, this motherfucker. So then I am like, fuck that. So like I messaged the girl, and she's like, yeah, I am, blah, 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 whatever. I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? And this motherfucker is up my ass 24 fucking 7. Like, when the fuck did he have time to go fuck someone? Then this motherfucker finally tells the fucking truth. Ow. And says that he slept with her that night that he went over there. So, number one, I paid for this motherfucker to go cheat on me. Number two, I picked the motherfucker up after he fucking cheated on me. Number three, he got the bitch pregnant. Mind you, we were together 3 years at this point. So I'm like, okay, well, we're about to be cutting ties with this shit, because this is bullshit. So then he's like trying to convince me to stay. And he's like, I ain't going to be a part of that, blah, blah, blah. And I don't even know if it's my kid, you know, whatever. And at first I was kind of like, okay, that could be true. Like, obviously, like, it was like a one-night stand thing. And, like, she could have easily, like, been, like, you know, like, with other people, like, it had been, like, a couple months down the road. So I was like, maybe I'll just stay until I find out if it's his or not, whatever. And it just, like, kind of started getting, like, worse and worse. And I was just like, fuck this. I'm 16 years old. I don't want to be a fucking stepmom to anybody's fucking kid. I don't want to be in this fucked up situation anymore. Like, he was, like, hitting me and stuff. And, like, it was just, like, getting worse and worse. And I was like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to be a part of this. So, basically, I ended up meeting this other guy, and he was older, and you'll hear a little bit more about him in my abortion story that I posted last week. So if you really want to know more about this next guy, you can go watch that video. I could make a whole separate video about that too, about him, if you guys wanted me to. But so to get away from Jay, I met this other guy, and he was older and bigger, and he was like, you know, like, fuck that, I'll beat that kid's ass, you know, if he fucking comes near you, like, you need to leave, like, and all this shit, and, like, I got your back if you want to leave, like, just go fucking get your shit from there, and I'll, you know, whatever. So, like, I was like, cool, like, that's cool, like, great, thanks, dude. So I go get my shit, and Jay is like, flipping my fuck out. Like, he's like, you're not fucking leaving me, you're not fucking leaving. And I locked all the doors, and, like, he was, like, hitting me and shit. And he was like, if you leave, I'm calling the cops and telling them you have drugs in your car and all this stuff. Like, what the fuck? So I finally end up getting out the house, and then I call the other guy. And when I get to where the other guy is, I go drop all my stuff off at my friend Kate's house, and then I go meet up with the other guy. He calls him and fucking snaps. He's like, you're leaving marks on this girl, like, da-da-da-da, like, you know, like, snap it off. He's like, I'll come to your house, like, fuck you up type shit. So, like, it was crazy, like, and basically, like, Jay blew up my phone the next day until it died, like, full battery. I killed my phone, like, just kept calling till my battery died. And then, like, eventually, this other guy that I was dating, gave me money to change my number. So, like, I changed my phone number so that he couldn't contact me anymore. And, yeah, it was a bad situation. He ended up being with Shayla for a while. And then, I was really good friends with Jay's sisters. And, like, I ended up, like, I didn't talk to them for a while after that just because I didn't want it. But after that, we kind of, like, rekindled our friendship. And, like, we were hanging out and stuff. And then he started coming around with Shayla. And Shayla was getting pissy and pissed off about shit. And I'm like, girl, I had your man, like, before. Like, I'm good. Like, have that. So, like, yeah, they ended up breaking up because of, like, me being around. It was weird. But, yeah, so then after that, he's, like, gone to jail and shit. Like, he's, like, got a pretty, like, fucked up life. So I don't even think he takes care of Shayla's daughter really that well. I know they were together for a while, and he was taking care of her, and then, like, after that, I don't know. She has another baby with somebody now, so I don't know. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, that is the story time about my first boyfriend and how he cheated on me and got the girl pregnant. If you guys want to see any other story times, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.